Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. I'm a little bit traumatized because the last couple of weeks have been so intense. As I'm looking at the transits for this week, I'm a little bit nervous that I don't have quite as much to share as I've been sharing the last couple of weeks, but let's get started because it's still an important week and certainly a really good week to catch our breath and to integrate a little bit all the changes that we've been making over the past couple of weeks. So, we are in the midst, as I've been talking about, of a really major cycle that the planets are bringing us that's inviting us to really explore our personal narrative. What story are you telling about who you are? How perhaps is that story being reflected back at you in your outer reality? And are there things in that story that you need to change so that the world in which you're living, the information field in which you are playing, is a better reflection of the once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event that you are? Now, we're going to start this week by looking at a quick review of the nodes. We're going to then look at the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, because we haven't talked about them in a while. And then we're going to shift our focus back to the Sun and the Earth. So, quick reminder, Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune are all retrograde, meaning we are exploring on the internal plane what we're talking about, what we're ready to share with the world. We're integrating. We are contemplating our spiritual connection and how perhaps that might be needing an upgrade, if you will, in terms of what we end up sharing, how we end up being, how we end up cultivating faith and strength in the world. And we are looking at, through the lens of Saturn, again, what narratives do we need to be telling in order for us to create what we really want to be creating in our lives. So, nodes. Let's talk about the nodes. So, just a quick reminder that the nodes are sort of set the plot outline, if you will, in the story of our reality. So, they're kind of the bumpers on the story that we're telling. South node is the energy that we need to have in place, the foundation for our growth. North node is sort of where we're headed and what we need, what we're moving towards. So, our South node is in the gate 9, the gate of convergence. So that is an energy that really invites us to explore our focus. The North node is in the gate 16, the gate of zest. And so we have this plot outline that is basically asking us, where's your focus? Are you actually focusing on what you want to be focusing on? Now, I'm going to throw in just a quick little piece here about the Sun and the Earth, because our Sun and the Earth have been conjunct with these nodal positions. So our Sun and the Earth, Sun has been in the 16, will be in the 16 until Tuesday. Earth in the gate 9, the gate of convergence, until Tuesday as well. So we have this theme being mirrored in the Sun and the Earth until Tuesday. What that really means is that we're being invited to look at what are we focusing on. And certainly, when we look at time and timing, focus is one of the things that can really help us influence time and timing. We can't control time, totally can't control time, but we can influence time. And when we talk about, especially in human design, waiting and how hard it is to wait and how long we have to wait, sometimes it's not, we're waiting, we're in a cycle of waiting because we're not ready yet. And we think we're ready, right? We're ready because we're excited, we're ready because we have zest and enthusiasm. We're not really ready yet. And if we pull the trigger and jump and try to force things into action, and we haven't done the foundation laying piece first, that's the shadow of this 16 energy, then we run the risk of pushing into something that we haven't built the foundation for. And instead of starting a journey, starting the beginning of a process that's going to lead to mastery and fulfillment, we just step off the edge of a cliff into the abyss. So this energy of focus is an important part of making sure that we have everything we need when we begin our journey, when we begin to create whatever it is that we want to create. And if we are not focused, then oftentimes the things we want don't show up because we're not paying attention to it. We're distracted. We're somewhere else. We're down a rabbit hole somewhere, and the universe can't find us, or the universe is like, she's not ready yet. She's not even paying attention, right? So we're really being invited with these energies, and the nodes in particular, to explore where are we pointing our focus. This is a really important conversation to have with yourself. This can be as subtle as, if you have an intention and you're trying to live an intentional and deliberate life, is your outer reality constructed to reflect that intention? What's important to you? Are the things on your desk the things that reflect what's important to you? You know, if you say my family is important to me and there's not a photograph of anybody in your family anywhere in your house, I would challenge you to say maybe there's something there you need to pay attention to. You know, do you have the focus on what you really genuinely seek to be creating in your life? If you don't, what happens a lot of times is we tend to go willy-nilly with enthusiasm in the wrong direction, right? And then the universe isn't giving us what we want either, because they're like, she's not even focused, she's not even there, right? So one of the most common things I've heard in my coaching practice over the last 25 years is people tell me all the time, I'm confused. I don't have clarity. And I will challenge you that if you think you're confused or you don't have clarity, that's not really what's happening. Everybody has clarity. Nobody is confused in my experience. But we tend to obfuscate and hide from ourselves what's really going on, because it really involves that we have to go deep and ask ourselves, why are you not focusing? Are you focusing because you've got a fear of inadequacy? Are you afraid you're not worthy? Is there something else going on underneath where you're distracting yourself with confusion or lack of clarity because you don't really want to look at what's underneath? For us to zestfully and with enthusiasm express ourselves from a place of mastery, not just, throwing things off on the side, but literally from a place of mastery, for us to create a contagious vibe of, hey, follow me, I've got something masterful and beautiful to share with you, we have to do the work underneath to make sure that we are aligned and focused. And if we don't do that work, then we have to engage in a conversation about what's keeping us from focus. Why? What's the underlying protective identities you might have there? What is the hidden agenda, perhaps, that's disallowing you from really seeing what it is you need to focus on? So that's our nodes and the sun and the earth until Tuesday. The outer planets, we're not going to look at Saturn because I did Saturn last week. We're not going to look at Jupiter because that kind of went with Saturn. But let's look at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So Uranus this week is, hang on, I got to look at my notes. Uranus is in the gate 24, the gate of blessings. Neptune is in the gate 36, again, retrograde. That is the gate of exploration. And Pluto is in the gate 60, getting ready to move into the 61 next week. But in the gate 60, highlighting the gate of conservation. Now, the gate 24 and the gate 60 together really are sort of the two places in the chart where gratitude lives. And that gratitude is actually essential for transformation. So, we sometimes think of gratitude as like, la, 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 happy feelings, and it's sort of an ungrounded energy. It's actually a very grounded energy. The gate 60 is actually on the root center. And it's an energy that says if we don't take stock of what we have, if we don't look at what's working, we really can't be innovative. Because if we are not building a foundation that's launching us from what we already know works, that is already established, we were already in touch with the blessings of what's come from the challenges and the struggles. If we don't have that as a solid foundation, we run the risk of being rebellious and ungrateful versus revolutionary. We are revolutionary when we're making sustainable change, and we are calling people in versus calling people out. When we are being rebellious, we're calling people out, right? We're saying what they got wrong and what's not working. When we're calling people in, we're noticing what is working. What can we grow? What can we build together? And both of these energies are really creating for us this play around what's working. Where are we united? In the Venn diagram of who we are, where's that sliver where we have stuff in common? And how do we look at that sliver and enhance it and develop it and cultivate it and shine light on it and focus on it so that we can expand that piece? And for us to, from that expanded place, create genuine, enduring change. So that's kind of our big piece here with those two positions with Neptune in the 36. This is the gate of exploration. This is where miracles happen in the chart. This is radical pattern breaking energy. This is that place where we have experiences that shatter the expectations of the past, that go beyond what we think is possible into what we think might be impossible, but until we try it, we don't know. And once we do, it changes the whole story of humanity. So this outer planet energy is really saying, hey, don't get lost in moving the deck chairs around on the Titanic. How about we get off the darn boat because we know it's going to sink? Let's get on the island. Let's figure out what do we need on this island, and let's explore how we can better construct something that's going to actually get us across the ocean, that's going to actually allow us to break free from the patterns of the past and start exploring new possibilities, new worlds, new realms. So that's kind of the outer planet energy with us. Those are two things. Third thing, sun and earth. Let's talk about sun and earth. Again, just a quick little asterisk mark here. Everything, even the outer planets, are saying, hey, what are you grateful for? What are the blessings from the pain of your past? How can you push against that to create a better narrative, a new story about who you are, a story that's more empowered, a story that really allows you to step into a higher, more fulfilled expression of the truth of who you are. Sun moves on Tuesday into the gate 35, the gate of experience. Earth moves into the gate 5. So the gate of experience is really inviting you to draw on your experience, your wisdom, what you know, and really letting yourself settle into trusting that you have what you need to move forward. With the gate 5, the earth in the gate 5, that gate 5 is the gate of consistency. Sometimes we think of it as being habits. And I want to talk about this for just a second because we have such a cultural conditioning around habits. We think that if we don't have good habits or habituated practices, that we can't create. That's kind of a lie for those of you who have this gate undefined. So those of you who have the gate 5 defined, check on your habits because you need to have them in place. But really, this 5 is about consistency, and it's about finding your consistency, being in the flow of your own consistency, your own creative flow, and looking at, does your experience, the 35, is your experience reflecting what you want? And if not, what perhaps needs to change in your own alignment with your own flow, your own creative essence, in order for you to support creating a different experience, creating something new in the world. So again, going back to our big overarching theme, we're being invited by the sun and the earth this week to look at, is my outer reality really reflecting back to me what I want? If not, in my narrative, where do I need to enhance my consistency so that my consistency better supports me materializing, manifesting what I really want to be experiencing in my life? That's it for this week. Keep working on your narratives. Literally, I don't know what you guys are doing, but for me, I am every morning hammering out little parts of my story. So this morning, I asked myself in my narrative, what do I want my relationship with myself to look like? So that was my contemplation about my narrative this morning. I'd love to see you take little pieces of your personal narrative apart and just write a little bit every day. What do you want your relationship with your body to be like? Your partners? What do you want your world to be like? Your work to be like? Your spiritual fulfillment to be like? Your relationship with yourself, your creative essence, your contribution. All of these things are up for us to explore through the lens of our own personal narrative. That's it. Have a really great week. Take good care of yourselves. I will speak to you next week.